We certainly evolved quite away from our three-chord blues we started this series with. Actually, that was a blues progression with a chord change on each beat, which I'll get to at the end of this. Right now I want to talk about something Charlie Parker did in 1951. He did a song called Blues for Alice, and he did introduce what are sometimes referred to as bird changes. Charlie Parker's name, if you're a jazz person, you know his nickname was Bird, so they sometimes referred to these as bird changes. Anyways, in Blues for Alice, he did a series of chords like this. Now, I know it doesn't sound very bluesy, but we're going to see how that relates to the blues, 12-bar blues chord progression. Right here I have a basic 12-bar blues as a jazz player might play it, meaning down here at the end, instead of going 5 down to 4, a jazz player might tend to play G minor 7 to C7, 2, 5, leading to the last chord F. So this is basically a simple blues. And what we're going to do is we're going to back cycle, as it's often called, from this F7. F7 can be preceded by the 2 chord from its key, which is C minor 7. As a matter of fact, C minor 7 and F7 sound very much alike. If you play a C minor 7 on the guitar the way the jazz players might play, and play a C ninth, which is just a fancy C7 or F7, you'll notice they sound very similar. So a 7th chord can be preceded by the 2 chord from its key. Now any chord can be preceded by the 5 of it. So G7 is the 5 chord that leads to C minor 7, and by virtue of the same idea, I'm going to use D minor 7 here, which leads to G7, and then just back cycling, I'm going to use an A7th here, and right here we would expect to see E minor 7, but we're going to use E minor 7 flat 5, only because it relates more to the key of F. E minor 7 flat 5 is actually in the key of F, it's the 7 chord. We're going to make this a little fancier and make it F major 7. So what we've done here, what Charlie Parker did, this is not just arbitrary, these chords work backwards from that F7 of the last measure, and if you listen to it, they actually, one leads to the next, and we get to the same place, which is where we're going, B flat. Now this B flat, again, we'll make it a major 7th. Right here, we're going to retain the B flat, the 4 chord, but we'll just make it minor. And we're going to do the same series of chords, working our way towards the G minor 7th by back cycling from it. And we get these chords, which will eventually just lead us to the G minor 7. This is A flat minor 7 to D flat 7, and that leads us to G minor 7. And here we'll use a simple turnaround. Let's use D7, the sharp 9 chord, sometimes called the Jimi Hendrix chord. He did it at E, but we're going to do it at D. D7 sharp 9 to D flat 7 sharp 9, and finally to our C7 sharp 9, which will bring us back to the beginning, to the F. So all these chords evolved by back cycling from previous chords. So if you listen to it carefully, it makes a lot of sense. Another thing they sometimes do here is use the flatted fifth substitution for some of these seventh chords. That's another subject altogether, but we can even evolve this further by using a substitution for each of these. And again, it may seem far-fetched, but I'm going to substitute this for this and this for this. And we're going to get to our same place. We're going to get to our B flat. We could actually do a similar thing here. And further on down we could do that again, but I think you get the idea from there. So with all these chords, a good question would be, can we play a blues scale? Well, I guess if you played your cards right, but I think you might be better suited to deal with the chord changes. For example, I'm going to play off the chord sounds. Now, a lot of people, of course, they're going to say, well, it doesn't sound very bluesy. Well, it's just a different way of playing the blues. I'm not one to say that it's better because it has more chords in it. I like to play a 3-chord blues myself. It's like one day you might want to wear a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt. Another day you might feel like putting on a suit and tie or even a tuxedo. It's nice to have these choices. So I enjoy playing all the different kind of blues. I'm not here to comment on whether we've lost the bluesiness at this point, because my series is really about the evolution of the chord progression and how people deal with it from the very beginning with 3 chords. So we've looked at the 3-chord basic 12-bar blues, 24-bar blues, minor blues, and we've evolved into the point here where we have all these chords. And then this here, what we have here is a chord change on every beat. As a matter of fact, you might think of this as a harmonized bass line. Here's the bass line, and we're actually putting a chord on each note. This is to people who are hip to this kind of thing. This is reminiscent of a great guitar player, Freddie Green, who played with Count Basie for 50 years. I actually, back in the 70s, went to see him at a restaurant where they were playing, and it was fortunate I asked for a table right next to him, and I was about 3 feet from the guy, and he had these old yellow charts which he hardly ever pulled out, and he sat there very casually in this beautiful 3-piece suit playing in this manner. It was amazing to watch him. He propelled that band and really kicked that rhythm section just with one acoustic guitar. And he very rarely, I guess there's 1 or 2 occasions where he took a solo, but basically he was known for this style, and I've even seen references to it in a big band chart, or have people say, well, play a la Freddie Green, because he did this kind of 1 note per chord thing. So I'm sure other people did it, but he was basically known for that. So anyways, Now there's even more modern versions of the blues, but I think I could, for now, leave my series at this point where we've evolved into one chord per beat. I don't think we need to go much further in that, but maybe I'll do a fifth one on some more modern ways of playing the blues. But right now, I'm sure you got enough to think about. So I would welcome any questions or criticisms. My name is Bob Piorun. I teach online. I have a couple of method books out. I'd be glad to sell you. And I have a number of other lessons on YouTube if you're interested. So hope you got something out of this, and we'll see ya.